This is IGN. The future of cinema going is certainly top of mind as 2026 kicks off, with Netflix, which is buying Warner Brothers for $72 billion, reportedly interested in a 17-day window for theatrical releases before they hit the streaming platform. Meanwhile, box office revenue is struggling, with even Marvel movies, which were previously guaranteed hits, having trouble getting fans into theaters. The big question right now is, are we witnessing the beginning of the end of going to the cinema? Hollywood legend Leonardo DiCaprio has expressed concern about the future of cinema going, wondering whether it'll become a niche pursuit. In an interview with the Sunday Times, the Titanic, Inception, and The Wolf of Wall Street star wondered whether people still have the appetite for theaters, and if not, whether they might become silos like jazz bars. It's changing at a lightning speed, DiCaprio said. We're looking at a huge transition. First, documentaries disappeared from cinemas. Now, dramas only get finite time and people wait to see it on streamers. I don't know. Then, do people still have the appetite, or will cinemas become silos like jazz bars? While expressing this concern, DiCaprio said he hoped real visionaries continue to make unique movies that are seen in theaters, but that remains to be seen, he said. DiCaprio, who starred in 2025's critically acclaimed One Battle After Another, isn't alone in worrying for the future of cinema going. And Babylon 5 fans are hoping Netflix's big money acquisition of Warner Brothers means the chances of a continuation of the much-loved sci-fi series will improve. But creator J. Michael Straczynski has calmed excitement, insisting there's a long road ahead for any positive developments. Warner Brothers owns Babylon 5, which has remained largely dormant since the iconic space opera ended in 1998 after 5 seasons. Despite efforts to get a revival off the ground, nothing new appears to be in the works, but some fans have expressed hope that Netflix may be interested in Babylon 5 should its deal to buy Warner Brothers goes through. However, Straczynski outlined the many hurdles Babylon 5 must overcome before Netflix, or any company for that matter, might greenlight its return. As for now, there is nothing in the works. The studio is contractually required to notify me if anything is put forward on Babylon 5, Straczynski tweeted. No such call has come. But would Netflix even be interested in Babylon 5 should it come to own it? Does Netflix need a sci-fi show right now? It would have plenty of competition within the Warner Brothers library, even if Netflix decided to go down the sci-fi show route, Straczynski said. This isn't the first time there's been talk of a Babylon 5 reboot. In 2021, The Hollywood Reporter said a from-the-ground-up reboot was in development for the CW, with original creator Straczynski in place as writer and executive producer. Netflix reportedly wants to keep its movies in theaters for just 17 days after it buys Warner Brothers. In a report from Deadline on the Stranger Things Season 5 finale, which made $25 million in theaters after it released at the same time theatrically as it did on Netflix, Hollywood was said to be worried about what the streamer considers to be industry standard windows before movies are made available on its platform. And then, the bombshell. Sources have told Deadline that Netflix have been proponents of a 17-day window, which would steamroll the theatrical business, while circuits such as AMC believe the line needs to be held around 45 days. It's worth noting this isn't confirmation that Netflix will settle on a 17-day window for Warner Brothers movies if and when its deal is approved. The theater companies may end up negotiating a lengthy window, perhaps somewhere between 45 days and the 17 days Netflix reportedly is a fan of. But what's clear is that there will be a great deal of tension within Hollywood as this is all worked out, with Netflix's priority, as you'd expect, bolstering streaming. If Netflix does force through a 17-day window, it could affect everything from James Gunn's DC Universe movie Men of Tomorrow, set to release July 9th, 2027, to The Lord of the Rings The Hunt for Gollum, set for December 17th, 2027. Then there's Matt Reeves' The Batman Part 2, which is due out October 1st, 2027, and Godzilla x Kong Supernova, due out March 26, 2027. How would the likes of James Gunn, Andy Serkis, Matt Reeves, and other directors of Warner Brothers movies react to their work having less than 3 weeks in theaters before hitting Netflix? The $82.7 billion Netflix Warner Brothers deal has sparked a tough response from some members of Congress, and it is expected to face significant scrutiny under antitrust laws. Meanwhile, at least one HBO Max subscriber has already sued Netflix, claiming the deal threatens to reduce competition in the U.S. subscription video on demand market. Warner Brothers' own streaming platform HBO Max includes everything from Game of Thrones to Harry Potter, James Gunn's DC universe to Barbie, and its content is expected to be added to Netflix if and when the deal goes through. After its announcement, Netflix sent subscribers an email of reassurance amid concerns over potential price rises. The email, reviewed by IGN, promised subscribers that nothing was changing today and confirmed that HBO Max and Netflix would continue to operate separately until the deal closes. It did not rule out future price rises, but did promise that current membership plans would remain in place at least until the deal goes through. As for when that'll be, Netflix said it expects to close the transaction in 12 to 18 months, so at the earliest, December 2026, but it could be as late as summer 2027. In an investor call attended by IGN, Netflix chief Ted Sarandos struck a confident tone when asked about the deal's chance of success. "We're highly confident in the regulatory process," he said. "This deal is pro-consumer, pro-innovation, pro-worker, it's pro-creator, it's pro-growth." As part of the same call, Sarandos said Netflix would continue to release Warner Brothers movies in theaters for now, though expected theatrical release windows to shorten over time to become, quote, more user-friendly. "We've released about 30 films into theaters this year, so it's not like we've got this opposition to movies into theaters," Sarandos said. "My pushback has been mostly in the fact of the long exclusive windows that we don't think are that user-friendly. I wouldn't look at this as a change in approach for Netflix movies, or for Warner movies for that matter," Sarandos continued. "I think over time, the windows will evolve to be much more consumer-friendly, to be able to meet the audience where they are quicker, all those things we'd like to do. But I'd say for right now, you should count on everything that is planned as going to theaters through Warner Brothers will continue to go through theaters through Warner Brothers." Last month, Rian Johnson expressed frustration at the limited theatrical release of his new Benoit Blanc Netflix film Wake Up Dead Man: A Knives Out Mystery. Netflix released Wake Up Dead Man: A Knives Out Mystery in theaters on November 26th, in time for the Thanksgiving holiday, before releasing it on Netflix itself on December 12th. But it only released in select theaters as opposed to nationwide, something that left the Star Wars: The Last Jedi writer and director unimpressed. Meanwhile, Avatar director James Cameron has said Netflix buying Warner Brothers would be a, quote, disaster. That said, Cameron isn't opposed to Netflix playing the game if it actually, plays the game. They should be allowed to compete if they put the movie out for a meaningful release in 2,000 theaters for a month, Cameron noted. One report has claimed Netflix is particularly keen to obtain Warner Brothers' vast content library as the streamer ramps up its potential to offer AI generation tools and content in the future. That's your IGN Daily Update. My name is Tony Jackson, and if you want more news on your favorite games and entertainment topics, make sure to visit us at IGN.com. You can also download our free app on your phone or console and subscribe to our weekly podcasts through the podcast service of your choice.
Spoken Layer.